What's that? I know, I'm ready. Oh, I know. Totally. Are you ready? Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim 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 shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Today is a little-known holiday, other than Shabbat. Today is Tu B'Av, which is a sort of Jewish Valentine's Day, a day celebrating love. And so in honor of Tu B'Av, we are going to eat chocolate a little bit later. But we'd love to invite you to introduce yourselves to those around you and share something you love.
Something sweet.
Something sweet, maybe. It could be a person, but, anything. So turn to your neighbors, say Shabbat Shalom, something you love. Fred's got a whole medley of love songs for you this evening.
How about shower the people you love?
There you go. There you go. Some more chairs are coming for those of you who are coming in. So there's also some chairs over here in the sun if anyone wants the sun. But there'll be some more chairs momentarily. So let's bring in Shabbat with the lighting of candles. We'd like to invite up our Benot Mitzvah families, the Wassersteins and the Duxes. Please join us. The blessing for candlelighting is on page 2 or 120. All right. Who wants to do the honors? Go ahead. You can do one, she can do the other. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Kaya and Ella will now lead us in the Kiddush, which is on page 5 or 123.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah limikra kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'ratzon hinhaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
L'chaim. Nicely done, guys. Thank you. Mazel tov. Thank you. So not only are we celebrating Shabbat and Tu B'Av and our Benot Mitzvah, we also have a milestone birthday in the congregation that we would like to celebrate as well. Pirkei Avot, the famous section of the Mishnah known as the Ethics of the Fathers, tells us that 80 is the age of Gevurah, of strength. And indeed, in Jewish tradition, 80 can be the prime of life. Abraham, according to some, is 80 when God first makes a covenant with him. Moses is 80 when he confronts Pharaoh and leads the Israelites out of Egypt. And Boaz marries Ruth at the age of 80. In the Talmud, Rabbi Hanina declares that anyone who's able to stand on one of his legs and remove his shoe or put his shoe on is considered young. And he can still do it at age 80, so he's still young. Tonight, we celebrate the 80th birthday of one of our beloved Beth Am members, Marilyn Schilling. We won't make you do the shoe thing to prove your youthfulness. I want to say a few words about Marilyn, and then I will invite you up for our blessing. Marilyn was born and raised in Brooklyn in a big extended family. She met her future husband, Ron, when she was 14 and he was 15 through a social at their high school. She enrolled at Brooklyn College, got married at age 19, and had her first child, Karen, 10 months later. Lisa and Robert followed soon after. The Schillings moved to New Jersey, then Scottsdale, then Austin, and then Milwaukee, where Marilyn was determined to finish her college degree before Karen started college. She got her degree in early education and began her career as a second-grade teacher at the day school in Milwaukee. In 1983, the Schillings moved out here to California, and they found a home here at Beth Am almost immediately. Marilyn continued to teach second grade. She's the queen of second grade at Yavneh and then South Peninsula Hebrew Day School. And she got involved in Beth Am leadership. Apparently, Sherry Half got a hold of Marilyn, and that was that. She was chair of the membership committee, president of Beth Am Women, and helped launch the Shema groups with Rabbi Heath. Beth Am is such a central part of her and Ron's life that she would do almost anything to stay here in the area. Since her retirement, she's kept busy with volunteer work, watercolor painting, mahjong, and book groups, not to mention being with her 3 children and 9 grandchildren. If you know Marilyn, you know that she is smart, funny, energetic, generous, and humble. She doesn't quite get all the fuss her family's making about this milestone birthday. I asked her to reflect on her 80 years, and she said, "Life is good. I've been very blessed." I asked her what wisdom she would share with us on this occasion, and she first said, "I knew you were going to ask me that." And then she said, "I've learned we need to appreciate what we have when we have it. Time goes by so quickly." And she told me she can't quite believe she's 80 years old. She certainly doesn't feel it. So it is my honor and pleasure to invite up Marilyn and the rest of the clan, all the Shillings who are here. I know some are watching from afar, but if you're here, please join us on the bima to receive this blessing. So Marilyn, why don't you stand right here, and the rest of you can gather around, put your hands on her shoulders, so this blessing comes from all of us.
Can you tell them I'm not going to be 80 till the 20th?
She's not going to be 80 till the 20th.
Still 70.
All right, she's still 79. Thank you for the clarification. That's important. All right, you ready? Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless you, Marilyn, on your almost 80th birthday. May you continue in health, humor, and happiness this year and for many years ahead. May you continue to enjoy the blessings of family and friends, good books and mahjong, and most of all, the love and support of your Beth Am community. Together we say Amen, and we wish you a Siman Tov and a Mazel Tov. Siman Tov, a Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, a Siman Tov, Mazel Tov,
Mazel tov, mazel tov,
a Siman Tov, Siman Tov, a Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, a Siman Tov, Yehelanu, 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 oh l'chol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, oh l'chol Yisrael, Yehelanu. You can lead them down. You dance your way off. L'chol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, oh l'chol Yisrael. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu.
Are people comfortable? Does everyone have a seat who wants a seat? Because we have more chairs here, and I promise you the experience is even better the closer you get to the front. So if anyone is uncomfortable where you are, we have some more chairs here. All right, let us sing.
Let's sing. Page 20 or 138, L'chadodi.
L'chadodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Yamor v'zachor v'dibor echad yishmi'anu, el hamiluchad Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, v'shemu tiferet, ve'letila l'chadodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor, haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof maaseh v'machshava tefila. L'chadodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likra kala, negla lecha dodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Verse 9.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'b'tzola toch emunei am segula boi chala boi chala lecha dodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu, page 28. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. On this holiday of love, you'll be noticing a theme of love running through this entire evening. We sing of God's everlasting love. Ahavat Olam, page 32 or 150. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Amcha Avta. Torah u'mitzvot, kuvim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadeta, otanu lemadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shokbenu, hukumenu nasiach v'chukecha, v'nismach v'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negeh yomam v'layla, negeh yomam v'layla. vachal tasir mimenu leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. Where is he? Okay. Here he comes. Next week, Logan Spinner will become Bar Mitzvah, and it's a pleasure that he will be joining us now on the Bima to lead us in the Via Havta, which is on page 36 or 154. Nice to see you.
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem, Emet. Good job. Read with us on the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe that we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Our Song of Freedom, page 40. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Norah tehilot, oseh ve'eleh, Norah tehilot, oseh ve'eleh, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ramu banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, Ze'eli anu ve'amaru, Ze'eli
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. We sing of shelter, Hashki Venu, page 42.
Hashki Venu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashki Venu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ushmor tzedkenu, u'oheinu, l'chaim u'shalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim.
Tefillah begins on page 46. Please rise.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Adonai tiftach ufi yagif tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Hagadol, Hagibor, V'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Givurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We continue privately through page 62. And when you have completed your prayer, please be seated.
יהיו לרצון אמרפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי יהיו ratzon imrefi Egyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri begoali May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable, be acceptable. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable, to you. Yehu l'ratzon imrefi Begyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri begoali May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable, be acceptable. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable, to you. Yehu l'ratzon imrefi Begyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri begoali
I'm often taken by the words, I should say these words often wake me up on page 55. When I read these words as we begin Shabbat, to read words that say, disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. That even as we're moving into this time of rest, to read words that remind us and provoke us to take action. And in these moments, we join together in words that are designed to spur our compassion and our caring. And so we join together in words of healing in these moments. Our Misha Berach. And on this Shabbat, we consider those within the larger Beth Am community. We take them into our hearts and we express these words of caring on their behalf. M.A. Allen, Julie Arnheim, Yolanda Azucena, Susan Carlson, Rabia Ergelin, Reese Francis, Mary Lou Garfinkel, Jim Gill, Selena Glater, Faith Gobedy, Richard Hines, Moritz Huppert, Marvin Jones, Andreas Judas, Toby Kay, Harold Muckamal, Eva Norman, Roger Noveski, Sophia Palesbin, Dr. Mark Perlroth, Rabbi Lori Phillips, Peggy Pizzo, Karina Rossner, Howard Schwartz, Stephen Avraham Simon, David Baruch Ben Simona, Danielle Villasenor, Katie Wilson, Marie Wolf, Kathy Wilberman. Are there any other names? Pray for the healing of all on page 253.
Mishevera avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishevera imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
I'm full of blessings tonight. It is a Bethlehem tradition to bless the Bethlehem Women Board each summer on Tu B'Av as they install their new board members. So I'd like to invite up the members of the Bethlehem Women Board now: Rita Allen, Julie Brenner, Dana Doctorow, Sylvia Gitlin, Valerie Goss, Lisa Eiley, Jan Iltis, Susan Cramer, Alita Longwell, Julie Roston, Diane Stadlin, Lisa Steinbach, and Jean Woolman. Hi, friends. It's nice to see you. So this blessing comes not just from me, but from all the clergy and from the community of Bethlehem. Mishaberach imotenu va'amotenu. May the one who blessed our mothers and fathers before us bless you, the Bethlehem Women Board, as you begin your term of service. May you find fulfillment, friendship, and fun through your work together. May your work be a true avodah shebalev, a service of the heart, as you strive to fulfill the mission of Bethlehem Women, to build a warm, welcoming, and inclusive community for women at Congregation Bethlehem, to build deep relationships, finding meaning in Jewish traditions, and have a positive impact on our congregation and our community. May the work of your hands endure. Together we say Amen. Amen. We give thanks to the Holy One for bringing us to this day. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. You can all be seated except for one of you. Oh, go get your papers there. So we are delighted to welcome our tonight's speaker, a member of that Bethlehem Women Board, Susan Cramer, who is a second-generation Bethlehemer, and we're going to hear a lot more about her tonight. So whenever you're ready.
Shabbat Shalom. It's nice to see, sorry. It's nice to see everyone this evening. I'm quite nervous being up here, so please forgive me if I falter. As mentioned, my name is Susan Cramer. Along with my two sisters, Deborah and Laura, I grew up here at Bethel. My parents became members when I was 5 years old. I had a wonderful childhood growing up in the hills at a time when we really didn't have many neighbors at all. I spent my time exploring our backyard creek, catching gopher snakes, and riding horses. I was also extremely active in all sports, and ultimately soccer, hiking, and skiing became passions of mine. I was very strong and felt invincible. Life was carefree, but my parents also reminded us where we came from. My ancestors, including my parents, worked very hard to give us the opportunities and privileges that they didn't have. Along with appreciating and remembering our past, I feel it's crucial to consider our future generations. We need to attempt to leave a world where all can flourish. Today's Torah portion reminds me of this goal. As described in the Torah, a woman's commentary, Vahet Hanan is a call to loyalty and love. The Parsha begins with Moses' recollection of how he longingly prayed to God to be allowed to enter the promised land. After leading many years of wandering, Moses was crushed by God's refusal to allow him to join his community to their final destination. But he turns from frustration and anger to teaching moments. He still did everything in his power to ensure the survival and safety of the Jewish people, and he did his best to instill commandments and values so the Jewish people could continue to thrive. We need to try to make decisions and consider how our actions either hurt or benefit our descendants. Besides keeping my children safe and happy, it was very important to me to teach them about their history, but also about respect, inclusion, generosity, and kindness. By being involved, for example, with preparing and delivering meals, collecting pies for the homeless Thanksgiving meal, researching and fundraising for various nonprofits, they learn the importance of looking beyond themselves to see how their actions impact the world. A good example of this is how we chose to spend some of our time during the early part of the COVID lockdown. I have found that when life becomes very difficult for me, it helps me to look beyond myself and help other people. When COVID shut down our lives, it was difficult to find a purpose or stay focused. My sister introduced me to the Bay Area Furniture Bank, which works with counties to furnish housing for those who are struggling. They relied on volunteers to assemble some of their furniture, and during COVID, they lost all their volunteers. Working practically alone in a huge warehouse was kind of perfect during COVID. My husband right away volunteered to join me, and to my delight, without any complaining, my 3 kids joined me as well, and we spent several hot but fulfilling days together assembling furniture. Besides reflecting on today's Torah portion, we are also celebrating Tu B'Av, as you've already heard. Tu B'Av was originally a post-biblical day of joy. It served as a matchmaking day for unmarried women in the Second Temple period. It was almost unnoticed in the Jewish calendar for many centuries, but it has been rejuvenated in recent decades. In its modern incarnation, it has become a Jewish day of love, slightly resembling Valentine's Day. This certainly resonates with me. The main focus in my life has been to love deeply and to also worry about and take care of everyone around me. Everyone is quite capable, but I still constantly worry about my kids, husband, parents, sisters, nieces and nephews, friends, clients, definitely the world at large, and even my pets. I think you get the picture. About 13 years ago, I went through a divorce and became financially on my own, raising 3 small kids in Silicon Valley. I happened to be quite independent and a bit stubborn, and I still felt as invincible as I did growing up. I worked extremely hard to make sure my children were happy and comfortable. It was important for me to pick up my kids from school every day and to be available for them whenever they needed me. I ended up working in the evenings to compensate for that flexibility. My schedule became quite full, so I stopped playing soccer, stopped exercising regularly. Over the next several years, I planned 2 bar mitzvahs, 1 bat mitzvah, remodeled my house. I met my lovely husband and planned our wedding, which I have to say was quite magical, with my children and nephews playing instruments and singing, and Cantor Shbal officiating. In 2018, there was some serious family stress, and I was also dealing with the worst client ever. I was barely staying afloat, trying to manage everything and take care of everyone around me. So, of course, taking care of myself was put last. I was completely overwhelmed, and I was no longer invincible. I happened to be college touring with my sons when I felt something funny on the side of my chest. It wasn't a lump, but a small strip of denser tissue. But I was extremely busy, so I didn't think much about it, and I ignored it. About a month later, I asked my husband whether he could feel something different in that area, and he did. So after a very stressful weekend waiting for my biopsy results, in April 2018, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I am BRCA negative, had no history or reason to worry about cancer. This, of course, isn't a medical fact, but part of me truly believes that because I was under so much stress for so long, that the cancer was able to take hold. After my diagnosis, it was a whirlwind with 8 doctor's appointments in the first 2 weeks. I ultimately had to go through 2 surgeries, 4 rounds of chemo, and radiation. I know some of you, actually many of you unfortunately, can relate, but it was a very difficult 6 months. And I'm currently on year 4 of the medication I have to take for 10 years. Post-traumatic stress is very real, and the pain and trauma I experienced during that time sometimes hits me even these days. But this brings me back to celebrating Tu B'Av. I was so very lucky because during this time, I was constantly surrounded by lots of love and support. My family and friends were amazing and helped me through this challenging time. I was provided with meals, rides for my kids, small gifts, and lots of love. Life is an amazing adventure and journey. For me, it's a story that you just keep telling and learning more about all the time. I truly feel extremely fortunate, and I try to spread love in every way that I can. But I know that not everyone is as lucky as I am. There are so many causes and ailments that need attention. My heart truly aches for anyone suffering, and it becomes overwhelming for me. So right now, I'm only able to focus on the issues that I know and try, even in small ways, to help where I can. After I finished my 6 months of treatment, I became involved with the organization Shersheret, which supports Jewish women and their families facing or at high risk of facing breast and ovarian cancer. They provide their clients with peer support, genetics conversations, financial assistance, and other support. Because of my experience, I was able to become a peer support contact. It's very fulfilling. Another organization I became involved with is Pink Ribbon Girls, or PRG for short. PRG provides meals, transportation, house cleaning, and peer support free of charge to breast and gynecological cancer patients. This organization is helping our direct local community, and the Bay Area contact for PRG, as some of you may know, happens to be a longtime member of Beth Am and Beth Am Women. Just this past year, I joined the Beth Am Women board. Beth Am Women tries very hard to encourage community, inclusiveness, and friendship. Every year, Beth Am Women honors our volunteers and board members at our Celebrate in the Garden event. And the event also supports various local nonprofits. As a co-organizer of this year's event, I am thrilled that we will be supporting Pink Ribbon Girls. The event is taking place in just a few days on August 16th. So please let me know if anyone would like more information. Also, if anyone needs a ride to or from the event, please just reach out to me and I will make that happen. On a side note, because I have to kind of put this plug in, for Beth Am Women, every 3 years we send out a survey to hear from all of our members. And now that I'm on the board, I see that we truly do use the results and try to incorporate what we can. So if possible, please complete the survey when it's mailed in a few months. In conclusion, I encourage everyone here to try to pay attention to what our bodies are telling us, to try to keep stress at a manageable level, to spread love and joy when you can, and to take a deep breath. As Marge Percy writes in her poetic interpretation of Vahafta, we must choose life so our children's children may live. Be quiet and listen to the still, small voice within that speaks in love. Open to that voice, hear it, heed it, and work for life. Let us remember and strive to be good. Let us remember to find what is holy within and without. Thanks to the amazing volunteers of Beth Am Women and Beth Am Men, tonight, to celebrate Tu B'Av, we get to indulge in wine and chocolate. I personally can't think of a better way for our community to come together and take care of each other. With gratitude and humility, I want to thank you for allowing me to share my story. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Susan, for your inspiring and passionate words. Your friendship to me has meant a lot. Actually, you were the first person when Aaron and I moved to this area in June of 2011. I think you were the first person at this entire synagogue to take us out to lunch at Rick's in downtown Los Altos. I think Rabbi Sarah was in the booth next to me. So we so value your words and your passion and the care of you and your entire family. If you're able, I invite you to rise. Aleinu L'Shabeach is 282.
Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, L'Teit Gedula L'Yotzeh Bereshit, Shelo Asanu Kagoyei Haratzot, Velo Samanu Kemishpechot Adama, Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, Vanachnu Korim, Umishtachavim Umodim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'nemar, V'haya Adonai, L'melech al kol haaretz, Bayom hahu, Bayom hahu, Yiyeh Adonai echad, U'shemo, U'shemo, U'shemo echad.
You can have a seat. Despite all the joy of this evening, the joy of birthday blessings and benot mitzvah and coming together for wine and chocolate, we know that there are some who come to our worship, whether you're here in person or you're streaming, because they're thinking of someone who's no longer here. If I read the name of your loved one who's passed, I invite you to rise in his or her honor. Then we'll rise as one community and say the words of Kaddish together. In this period of Shloshim, the 30 days since passing, we remember Penny Kermit, Philip Heath, Ruth Beckman, Ray Triger, Dorothy Huppert, and Irene Levine. On this anniversary of death, the yahrzeit of passing, we remember with love Ina Alper, Ernest Baum, Harriet Berman, Leo Bienenstock, Edna Ruler-Billick, Carl Blank, Herbert Blackman, Leah C. Blumenkrantz, Betty Bogan, Ruth Castle, Jill Cohn, Florence Dolan, Thomas S. Doran Jr., Sylvia Dressler, Bernard Ector, Laura Elligator, Ralph Epstein, Florence Erber, Boris Fleischman, Goldie Lipschitz-Freitas, Marcus Gesundheit, Jackie Glader, Eleanor Goldberg, Peter Goldberg, Lorraine Gross, Stuart Hauser, Milton Hirsch, Marilyn Hoffman, Richard Hoffman, Micah Jarvis, Susan Johannes, Yvonne Jolly, B. Kafka, Fania Kahan, Ruth Cantor, Fanny Katz, Albert Kaufman, Judith Cramer, Betty Kulick, Patty Layton, Abraham Leonoff, Flora Lipson, Sharon Lipson, Haya Namovanov Mezhertitsky, Beatrice Michaels, Dina Malenko, Saul Miller, Joyce Miranda, Andrew Moser, Anna Nekedzi, Aaron Nemirovsky, Martin Joseph Newlett, Keith Norton, Evgenia Pelkis, Natan Pelkis, Harold Pianin, John Pronovost, Peter Ryder, Ida Rosenblum, Philip Mead Roston, Mirko Rudmim, Heinz Schimmeler, Jack Schreer, Irene Spall, Michael Sinton, Dr. Edward H. Stein, Diane Terman, Bonnie K. Tonneson, Manuel Trube, Sally Turk, Sarah Untermem, Anna Weisblatt, Isidore Warshaw, Samuel Weinberg, Barbara Weiss, Miriam Wilnai, and Madeline Winter. If you're thinking of someone else whose name I didn't read, I invite you to rise and share their name at this time. We all rise together. 294 or 598. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bi'amad ivarak kirte bi'amlich malchute. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala uv'izman karib bi'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lam me'almaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmed kusha brichu. Leila min kol birchata b'shirata. Tushbechata b'nechemata. Da'amiram bi'ama bi'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. B'chaim aleinu bi'al kol Yisrael bi'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu bi'al kol Yisrael bi'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen.
Ose shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen.
Before we conclude, I want to say a special Shabbat Shalom to everybody who's joining us on the live stream. It's wonderful to have your presence here, and we're thrilled that you're able to tune in. A special Shabbat Shalom to a few members of Palo Alto High School, the senior class who is joining us. Thanks for joining us on this Shabbat. If you have any questions, Rabbi Morrison will probably be able to answer them after services. Also, if you are not often at Beth Am, we'd love to get to know you a little bit better. Any one of the clergy, Rabbi Sarah Weissman, Rabbi Jeremy Morrison. My name's John Prosnit. Fred Ross Perry is amazing on guitar. We actually have the best percussionist in the Bay Area in Ken over there. He was voted that by Bay Area Magazine. That's not true, but well, in my mind, it should be true. And just such a delight to have so many individuals here and to welcome all of you. And an important note, as we even are thinking about those around us and as the sermon tonight challenged us, as you know, each month we collect tzedakah, dollars for important organizations. This month we're connecting for the South Palo Alto Food Closet, which is almost 40 years old, over 40 years old. And during the pandemic, the South Palo Alto Food Closet continued to operate with a small crew, serving clients while maintaining COVID safety measures. And all funds are used to help subsidize the purchase of food for the food closet and to give out to those in need. There's a tzedakah box in the back near where you picked up your prayer books, which is a hint to put your prayer books back and help our custodial team. And if you are watching online, you can always just Venmo Beth-Am, or you can donate on the webpage. Finally, and I promised Alita, no one has worked harder on wine and chocolate than Alita Longwell. Where are you?
She's already back there.
She might have already run over there to setting it up. So many things. There are tons of different options, from sugar-free to nut-free to juice and wine. There's tables for kids. So thank Alita. She had a partner that got stuck in Scotland and couldn't make it back. So she did all the work herself. So if you see her, give her an extra fist bump. We really appreciate all of her hard work. We'll sing together, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. May peace come to all of us.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam.
If you're here for the Wasserstein bat mitzvah, the dinner is going to be down by the BK. Everyone else, we want to see you over eating chocolate and drinking wine or juice or whatever it is. Join with us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Huya say shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'himru amen. Oh, say shalom bimroma.